Cruise news time, and well, we've got bad weather in Florida and it is impacting a lot of cruise ships. We have cruise ships that are stuck at sea. We have cruise ships that are going the other direction. We have cruise ships that are canceling. All that plus a whole lot more cruise news. Cruise news and my views. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Lido, Loca. I am your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news and views for your face. On Saturday, December the 16th, 2023. And wow, it's a gray day here on the west coast of Florida. And it's been a series of gray days, actually, and bad weather in the Atlantic on the east coast of Florida, even in the Gulf. Bad weather everywhere around Florida is causing a lot of issues with cruise ships. We're going to get into that, but first, sad story coming out from a transatlantic crossing. We have the MSC Armonia making its way from Europe to South America. News coming off that ship that there is a passenger that intentionally went overboard. This was originally reported as a missing passenger case, but once the cruise line was notified that this passenger could not be found, an extensive review of the video footage from that cruise ship, it did reveal that this person intentionally, 40-year-old man, intentionally went overboard on the cruise ship during this transatlantic crossing. Certainly a somber reminder that this is sometimes what people use cruise ships for, a somber reminder that this time of year, even though it's filled with joy and hope and all of those things, that it can also be filled with dread and sadness and those kind of things. And so I'm going to leave a number here if you're somebody out there struggling, you want somebody to talk to, there's always somebody at this phone number. Sad story coming off of the MSC Armonia. Now let's work our way through the impacts of the bad weather in the Atlantic over this past week off of the coast of Florida and down into the Bahamas. We've got all kinds of cruise ships that are altering their itineraries. 3 Royal Caribbean cruise ships have either missed cruise ports or altered their itineraries during this week of cruising. We're talking Allure of the Seas, Mariner of the Seas, and Liberty of the Seas. They've missed ports like Coco Cay and other tender ports. They've had to avoid the storm. They've added additional sea days. I don't know if you're on any of those cruises, but I'm assuming that this has been a volatile week for you. If you're out there, I would love to hear a comment from you. But before I get to the next cruise news story, I do want to pop in real quick and I have to share this with you. Over the last couple of days, I have caught a couple movies that I would highly recommend. I watched Gran Turismo last night. It was a really great movie if you like technology, if you like gaming, if you like racing, if you like the struggle between a father and a son, like a good emotional, redemption story. I would recommend that movie. It's streaming on Netflix right now. And then because I missed it at the theater, I paid the money to purchase Killers of the Flower Moon. That's the latest Martin Scorsese movie with DiCaprio and De Niro. This movie was pretty heavy. It was actually a look at a historical event where the Osage Indians had gained a lot of wealth because oil was discovered on the land that they had been moved to. Then how certain individuals came in and tried to take advantage and even, do away with these folks. A really interesting look at a historical event, great acting, beautiful cinematography, and then really some interesting things to wrestle with. I would recommend that movie also. Have you seen any good movies lately? Anybody see Wonka yet? I'm on the fence about whether to go to the theater and see that. I would love for somebody who's seen it to tell me whether or not I should go. Huge fan of the 1971 Gene Wilder, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So I'm a little apprehensive. I did not like the Johnny Depp version. So what do you think? Okay, that's the movies. Now back to the cruise news. Let's talk about some other cruise ships where we're starting to hear from passengers on board or maybe some weird circumstances. First, let's talk about the Carnival Vista. Recently, it missed its Grand Turk stop because of bad weather. And we're starting to see some news reports where they've talked to a passenger on board that basically, said the thing that we all realize when you're stuck at sea, you can't go outside on the pool deck, the weather's horrible, and basically you're just stuck inside doing whatever is being offered to you on the cruise line. And as you can imagine, the crux of that report was that this person was a little bummed out for missing Grand Turk, bummed out for being stuck on the inside of a cruise ship, talking about a lot of opportunities to eat And yeah, it's, I wanted to share that story because it shows kind of the dual frustration. You obviously want to be safe, but you're kind of bummed out that you booked your nice cruise vacation, and then all of a sudden you're just stuck inside a cruise ship, stuck on the high seas when maybe the weather's not great and the waves and stuff are getting at you. I don't really know what the solution is. It always begs the same question. Should people that are disgruntled on these disrupted cruise ships, should they get anything? Is it on the cruise lines to pay for these acts of God or Mother Nature or whatever you want to call it, these weather conditions? Is it on the cruise line, or is that just part of the cruise life? I mean, you guys know where I stand. It's just part of the cruise life, but what do you think for these people? Should there be some sort of compensation while they are stuck at sea? Now, oddly enough, the bummed out passengers stuck at sea, not the only bummed out passengers right now. I also have to tell you about a cruise that's happening out of New York on the MSC Meraviglia. It was originally scheduled to come down south and go to the Bahamas, but because of the storms that we're talking about, they've decided not to do that. They notified passengers that instead of going south to their warm vacation, that instead they would be going north up to Boston and up to Canada, where it's cold, cold, cold. And well, there's some people that are not too happy about that. The cool thing about this scenario, though, is that they allowed the passengers not to go on this cruise if they didn't want to and get a refund. Big thumbs up for MSC for that. What would you do in that scenario? If your warm weather vacation canceled, would you still go up north and just enjoy your week? Or would you take your money back? That's going on out of the New York area. And then we got two more wild scenarios playing out in southern Florida. One from Fort Lauderdale. This time we have Holland America's New Amsterdam set to sail today, the 16th of December. They notified guests that, we're not going to sell out today. We're going to sell out 2 days from now. So they've delayed embarkation until the 18th. Now, unfortunately, they weren't able to notify the guests until Thursday, the 14th of December. And because of that, they are compensating these guests. There's going to be a big disruption to the itinerary. They're not going to go to most of the ports that were scheduled. And Holland recognized that there were probably already people in Florida waiting for this cruise. And so they will be providing compensation for additional lodging and plane changes or those kind of things. And so, big ups on Holland America for trying to make the best out of a situation. And then I got another cruise story about a cruise that was canceled that I'm a little concerned about what the options are for these cruisers. I'm going to tell you all about it, but first, let me invite you to subscribe. If you like staying up to date with everything going on in cruising, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of these episodes. It doesn't cost anything. We're trying to get to 18 million subscribers before the next 50 years, but I think we could do it. We're almost to 250,000 subscribers. Be a part of that number. Subscribe, notification bell. Thank you in advance. I'm really kind of vibing on that song. I'm trying to figure out something to do with that song. I really like I like the horns in that one. Okay, I've made no bones about it. I enjoy Margaritaville at Sea. I like them, the things they're trying to do as a company, but sometimes they do things that I don't know it absolutely helps them. And I think we're in one of these scenarios. They completely canceled their 15th yesterday. They canceled their cruise because of the bad weather. And everything that I'm seeing is when they canceled that cruise, I'm not sure that they gave people the option for a refund. From the reports that I've seen, it does look like if your cruise got canceled yesterday, you certainly can rebook another cruise from Margaritaville at Sea. But then there's an interesting caveat. If you don't rebook another Margaritaville at Sea cruise by December the 29th, then you will be awarded future cruise credit so that you can book another Margaritaville at Sea cruise. I don't know what the particulars are, but to me, it seems like if the cruise got canceled because of weather and it was no fault of the guest, that you should have access to a refund. But I'm unsure what's going on down there. Did you get canceled on Margaritaville at Sea yesterday? Leave a comment below or reach out to me, Tony at LaLidoLoca.com. If you have any questions and you would like me to address it on the show, you could also send me an email at Tony@LaLidoLoca.com. I would love to see your questions. Thank you for checking out the show today. Please hit the like button on the way out. This is Tony for La Lido Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.